Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or good whatever, whenever you're watching this. If you are watching this live, please join in and give me a hi. If you have not given StreamYard permission, I will see hi. Facebook user, but if you have, I'll see your name. And if you are watching this via replay, give me a hashtag replay hi. I'd love to hear from you. So today is tantrums versus meltdowns. And I think that there are very, very few of us, if any, who have never experienced, let's say, a toddler with a tantrum or meltdown. And there is a difference. I know those terms are used interchangeably, but I see a difference in them. And that's what this is going to be about a little bit, so that when we are going through them, and we do have to go through them, we will have a better understanding of what and where, what we can and can't do, or what would work better or worse. And I know that they are kind of relegated to toddlers, but I've seen a bunch of teens and tweens and even adults throw tantrums, and and have meltdowns. So their tantrums are kind of a normal but unfortunate part of life, with toddlers especially. It's part of their development, and some of us stay stagnant in that and don't move further. But it is a way of communicating, but it is not the best way of communicating. Can we go to that? So let's first talk about the difference. All right, I wrote notes so I don't forget. So, because my brain has been all over the place lately. So um, we've seen that time when we're in the throes of it. We've been in supermarkets and have seen it with other kids and seen it with our kids. So what is it? So a tantrum. When a child is throwing a tantrum, they're still in the real world. They're still with us. You could see them sometimes when they're doing it. They'll hear a noise or they'll hear something else, and they'll stop and look at it and then go back to it. It's They have some control over their behavior, not total control. They are communicating with you. They are using the tools that they have, let's say. There's a lot of whining involved. There is a purpose to it. There is a purpose to it. If they get what they want, uh, the issue is resolved. The tantrum stops. And they usually last for, 10 minutes or so at most. And they can kick and they can scream and they could cry and hit and yell and throw things. That's all a part of a tantrum. Unfortunately, that's also all a part of a meltdown. But a meltdown is different. A meltdown, the child has no control over. They are out of it, and you can see that they are out of it. They The cause of it's the reason for it behind it is often harder to identify. Both of these happen more when the kid is tired or hungry or overwhelmed with something, but one, it has the tantrum has a true purpose, and the meltdown is just out of their control completely. So they're confused and dazed and confused, as they say. Uh, Neither one of them mean that. What they do mean. They do mean that they're overwhelmed. They do need help navigating them. But here's the caveat: when either a tantrum or a meltdown, when the kids are in the throes of it, the less said, the better. Um, because sometimes when a kid is in the middle of a tantrum, the more you say, the more they, especially if you're not, and if you are going to give in Don't even bother not. Give them what they want from the beginning. Um, Stay close to them. Stay calm. It does never helps and I know this is you self-regulating, and it makes it hard. You can empathize. I see you're angry. I know you really want that. And then just back off. I'm here when you need me. And sometimes tantrums do turn into meltdowns, but I think that that's when we add to their overwhelm, when we talk too much, when we try to give them solutions, when we try to get them out of it. It kind of makes it worse because they have to go through it. They have to go through it and come out on the other, like a tunnel. I say this, it's like going through a tunnel. You can't get out of the tunnel until you get to the other end. The same thing with a meltdown or a tantrum. Um, and then at the end, you can, when they're calm and you reconnect, hug if they like to be hugged. 'Cause some kids do not. I mean, most of the kids I know do not like to be touched when they're in the throes of this. Uh, but yeah, the basic difference between the two are one is to a purpose, and the other is just they can't help it. And I'm not saying they can help the tantrum, but we can help them. We can give them tools to deal with the disappointments in a different way. For we can set it up before we go in. Not like you're not going to get anything when we go into the store, but like we're going into the store for milk and bread. You get the milk, I'll get the bread. So that it's a clear path out. Um, the less hungry, tired, or overwhelmed they are. The better it is. Sometimes I know with myself and with others, they would to go shopping on the way home for food is great. But if the kid has had a long day in school and at the park, and they may not be able to handle that. So you are setting yourself up for this. Um, but the biggest part that you can play in this is to stay calm. So pause. My thing. Count to 10, count to 20, do whatever you need to do to stay calm. And so you can respond rather than react. Because you can't reason with someone who's being unreasonable. The more words they hear, the more information they're taking in, the more overwhelm will set in. Or sometimes we get caught up in the power struggle of it. Again, through it to end it. Also, if you have a plan in mind to figure out what you're going to do when it inevitably happens again, whether it's going to be limits and expectations. I don't believe that this is a quote punishment situation, because they are out of control. Even when it feels like they're manipulating you to get something they want with a tantrum, it's it's a learned behavior, or it's a behavior that they need help reframing. There's a lot more on this, but I've been talking for almost 10 minutes now, and I'm gonna. If you need help, if you want more, if you need help devising a plan, or with your own reaction to it, or with solutions to it, uh, hit me up. Give me a call. We'll work on it together. And until next time, ciao ciao for now. I will see. Any questions? Any questions or concerns? Ciao ciao for now. See you soon.